units, but demand went to 180,000 units. In 2011, we're only delivering a little under 32,000 units. You know, we can't go and just develop properties, you know, tomorrow. It takes a couple years to do that. So the demand is pretty significant. You know, one thing I mentioned earlier too is right now we have the ability to get both equity and debt for both development and acquisition in the multifamily sector. That's something we did not have in 08 and 09. It started coming back around in 2010 and it's there right now. So this next slide, the demographic shift, I think is a pretty telling sign of where things are heading. If you look at this, in 1986, there were 63 million people between the ages of 20 and 34. These, you know, in that generation, they were still living the American dream. It was get married young, start a family, buy a home. In 2015, we were going to have 67 million people with the equity earners between the ages of 20 and 34. I mean, that is the ideal demographic. And after coming through this economic cycle, you know, a lot of people don't want to own homes anymore. They want to rent. And so we really feel like this next generation is going to be renters. They're young, they're not getting married younger, they're not starting families early, they want to be flexible and move around. So we think this is a pretty strong fundamental going forward. Now, how does this relate to Charleston? You know, occupancy in Charleston is pretty strong right now. Most of the properties right now are between the mid and the high 90s. You know, several projects back in the early to mid 2000s were converted to condos. So we had a significant amount of supply taken off the market. You know, right now what we're seeing, we have very little new supply. Rent growth in this market has been pretty good. I feel like I need to touch on, you know, asset sales. We haven't had very many trades in this market recently. We had Watermark that sold, I think, last year. I'm sure the beach company guys will correct me if I'm wrong on that. TCR deal just traded in Ladson. We're getting ready to sell a property in West Ashley, but there haven't been a lot of trades. But what you do see is a lot of supply coming in. If you look up here on the board, we have, you know, right now Charleston's probably got 3,500 units proposed or some phase of development. You know, overall, the market only has 29,000 units. So that's a pretty significant amount of supply coming in the market. It's a little over 10%. And for a market this small, it seems like a lot. But if you look up here, we have Mount Pleasant has 1,600 units proposed. Downtown has 272 units proposed. North Charleston, 620. Somerville, 300. West Ashley, 300. You know, you might step here and say, well, how many of those deals are going to get done? Well, a good bit of them will. You know, of the 1,600 in Mount Pleasant, 1,000 are capitalized today. The downtown projects are capitalized. They're going to start construction. The deal on Daniel Island is going to start construction next month. I mean, that's a significant amount of supply. And what's driving this? We have a lot of job growth in Charleston now. You know, we have more people wanting to live in Charleston.
But there are other new players seeking to come to Charleston. Retailers are looking to open stores, but only in select markets. Fortunately, Charleston is a favored market. We have had over 20 national retailers open stores or make renovations in the last 18 months. This is a key sign of success, and retail is a small world. We all talk to each other, so others are coming. There's some key tenets that stamp approval on Charleston as a vibrant market. Trader Joe's opened in Mount Pleasant this summer. Forever 21 on King Street, one of the hottest retailers in the country. West Marine at St. Andrews Shopping Center is the largest West Marine in the United States. Apple. There are 2 Apples in the entire state of South Carolina. And restaurants, P.F. Chang's opened at the Old Chili's in Mount Pleasant last week. These particular retailers stamp us as successful. Where's Charleston's future? My forecast is that in the next 18 months, 6 new shopping centers will be open for business. And for perspective, Atlanta is a 5.5 million population market. Charleston is approximately 650,000. Atlanta has 0 shopping centers in the pipeline. We have 6 that will be open in the next 18 months. Why are retailers choosing Charleston? Charleston is creating higher paying jobs. And we are participating in a migration from north to south. The Charleston Post-Courier had an article just last week about brain gain. The people that are moving are more affluent and higher educated. That's what the retailers want. And we are also participating in what's historically been defined as the third great migration in the history of the United States. And Charleston is the bullseye. Lastly, our quality of life brings diverse consumers to the market. So in summary, the demographic components of the population growth will continue to bring new and dynamic retailers to Charleston. Stay tuned, keep your ear to the ground and your eyes open, because it's going to happen.
The outlook for Charleston has never seemed brighter. As Boeing is busy building their first 787 Dreamliner, assembled entirely right here in our backyard. What a statement that will make to the global marketplace and the industrial world. Our port continues its steady march toward the post-Panamax world. And along the way, our industrial market gets stronger. Our vacancy continues to decrease. We are nearing a decade low in Class A product availability, and our land sale pricing is setting new records. As you can see, we've been leasing about a building a month for the past 18 months, slowly absorbing much of the vacancy that the recession left behind. We are at a tipping point in industrial, a point which I define as when a company will choose to pay a premium rent for a newer product versus lower rent for lesser quality alternatives. We simply need new industrial product in Charleston, or we risk losing investment to other markets. In my forecast, we will see that new construction this year. We will continue to attract new investment due to the quality of our workforce and the return on investment that a new company will gain by being closer to Boeing or Spaymore, our ports, the Clemson wind turbine facility, or our biotech and medical research complex. Industrial rents have been creeping up this year, approaching $5 per square foot for newer product. With increasing demand and decreasing supply, we would expect rents to increase to the mid to $5 per square foot, thereby justifying new investment in industrial product. Look for this new spec product to first appear in the Palmetto Commerce Park, adjacent to Boeing's interior fabrication plant, which has its own complex supply chain. Also, I am forecasting both new land sales and at least one major distribution project for the Jedburgh submarket. As both the new interchange on I-26 is announced in the next year and our container volume continues to grow in advance of the post-Panamax era.
What is the state of the market right now? Roughly, we have 11 million square feet of space in our total market. Of that space, we have roughly 16% vacant. That's equivalent to about 1.5 million square feet. And of that space, of the quality Class A buildings, we're about 11% vacancy, which is equivalent to about 500,000 feet of quality buildings across our whole Tri-County area. When you take our downtown market and look at quality buildings down there, we've got about 6% vacancy, which is equivalent to 50,000 feet. These are statistics. But when you look at it over the past 36 months, this has been a tremendous move. We've gone from 5 years of supply to 2.5 years of supply. If we don't grow our market and add more buildings to the market, we will not have any space and therefore potentially no new business. This is a wake-up call. Currently, there's only one building being completed in Charleston, which is the Holder building, Holder and Durlac, beautiful building downtown, 25 Calhoun. That building is fundamentally delivering 90% occupied, which is a great sign for the market. There are no buildings to actually deliver in 2012. We'll hopefully see some more in 2013 and 14, but also means that obsolete and inefficient space will eventually get absorbed, provided we can get financing for these projects. We have to have the ability to create financing vehicles locally